I've got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare
where we dive into the mysterious, the unexplained, and the downright otherworldly. In this cryptid corner of the airways, we'll explore alien encounters, ancient artifacts, and instrumental oddities. Buckle up, my friends, because truth is stranger than fiction, and you're about to embark on a cosmic journey. Welcome to the ZENO.
Oh yeah, everybody. That's right. Welcome to the Xenophiles, okay?
What's going on this evening, folks?
There we go. We got my boy Fogman over here, and down the bottom below us, ladies and gentlemen, is Farmer B. Now, Farmer B, he don't herd cattle. He don't herd, I was going to say sheep,
Chickens.
but I've heard sheep in his yard. So anyways.
I know they make it better.
I've heard chickens in your bedroom.
Screaming,
You know
help
what
me,
I'm
help
saying?
me.
Yeah.
You know,
Without further ado, I am Blazeman, ladies and gentlemen, and to my left, maybe your right, is Fogman, and below us, ladies and gentlemen, is Farmer B.
Despair, my host won't let me pee. Deep, dark depression through my eyes I can't see. If it weren't for X-Lax, I could not move my bowels. Gloom, despair, 'cause I can't take a pee.
Well, we just lost about 10 people on that one. But ladies and gentlemen, all kidding aside a little bit here, the Xenophiles, Blazeman and my boy Fogman, we created this show because, we just like the idea of like what ifs, you know what I mean? And today today's first segment is going to fall on my boy, Fogman. And go ahead, my buddy.
All right. Well, okay, folks, welcome to this episode of the ZENO Files. A little bit of housekeeping first. Our opinions are our own, and any information that we impart to you is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken literally in most cases. As I said, our opinions are our own. They are not reflective of ourselves or our sponsors, which are I-12GIA, Peace of Mind Training, and the FFN Network. So, with that being said, let's get started with this.
Okay, here we go. What do we got first? You wanted to? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let the folks know what we're going to hit first.
Yeah, we're gonna finish up. Last week's episode covered black holes, and there was a lot of questions, a lot of other information that came out as a result of that. So we're going to have a bit of a continuation on with that, and then the second half of the show is, or the second 3/4 of the show is going to be secret tunnels and underground
secret
cities
government tunnels. Yep, and we got the real North Pole, 5 mystical ancient islands that might actually exist. And then we got, if Farmer B behaves himself tonight, we got 25 scariest but true space facts, man. But go ahead, sir.
Yep,
talking to the other boy, huh? I got you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off the night with a super cool video of. You want to tell
black
him?
Holes.
You want to tell him, Frogman? You want to tell him?
Black holes.
Black holes, ladies and gentlemen. And what if 2 black holes collided? Oops. All right. You ready, Farmer B?
Yeah, 2 black holes collide. I might be able to sink a putt in the damn thing.
You could probably try. And while the video's playing, Fogman and I encourage you to put on your tin hat. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What if 2 black holes collided?
Call the show, 508-974-4231.
Exactly. Give us a call at 508-974-4231. You better listen to Fogman. He don't got that name for nothing, baby. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Black holes are the gravitational monsters of the universe. They are so powerful that nothing, not even light, can escape their grasp. One black hole is bad enough, but if you took 2 black holes and smashed them into each other, they'd be capable of changing the shape of space itself. How epic would that explosion be? And could it somehow reach Earth?
See, Fogman, now this is what I'm talking about. They're talking about an explosion. Now, why would 2 black holes explode? Do you think they would act like as magnets when they got closer to one another, that they would bounce away, or?
Well, yeah, because what creates a black hole is a dying star. Okay, that goes supernova, pretty much.
Okay, so when that star explodes,
right,
it creates a black hole.
Yeah, eventually. That's kind of what starts it. Man, they determine that by measuring the gases and the patterns that go along with that. And anything that we come up with during this conversation, don't take it to heart, because I tried. Yeah,
because we're curious and we're guessing just like you guys are that are out there.
The reason I say that is I tried doing the math on this and I tried reading some of the math involved. I might as well have been reading hieroglyphics on the side of Battlestar Galactica. Right. I had absolutely no idea what the fuck any of this was talking about.
Right, exactly.
So we're just kind of talking to you guys about this. Two black holes colliding could conceivably cause an explosion, considering if both are counter-rotating each other.
Yeah.
When they collide.
Well,
I could definitely see how the energies, one colliding, countering the other, would cause a disruption that would cause a tremendous explosion that could happen. And in that instant case, trying to figure out the math on that would be like trying to find a pair of chopsticks in Oklahoma.
Well, yeah,
not going to happen.
It would, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really would. And
but what's baffling me is the explosion part. So, I mean, we do have a video up here that probably would answer some of our questions.
So we should probably watch it then.
So we should probably watch it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is What If? And here's what would happen if two black holes collided. Of course, we have no means to capture or control black holes yet. So imagine you're observing one from a giant telescope here on Earth, and suddenly you notice something strange. Is that another black hole? It sure looks like it. And it also looks like these two are about to collide. It turns out that even gravitational giants like black holes occasionally run into each other in the seemingly vast universe. Are you about to see a nuclear bomb-like explosion of supersized proportions? The reality might be a little disappointing, but you still wouldn't want that galactic bomb to detonate anywhere near your planet. Bear with me here, because to understand how black holes collide, you need to arm yourself with a bit of theory. Black holes come in all shapes and sizes, and of course the magnitude of the collision would depend on which black holes are slammed together. Stellar mass black holes are the most common type. They can have up to 20 solar masses, but could fit in a ball much smaller in diameter than our sun. Okay, now let's go back to you observing this gravitational show firsthand. First, you'd see the two black holes getting a little closer until they started to orbit each other. They would begin pulling matter and gas into a vortex between them. Get comfortable, because it could take billions of years for their centers to merge. But as the two black holes merged into one, they'd wobble a little and then settle down into a new, bigger black hole. Now, I hope you're not disappointed with such an explosion-free outcome. But wait, there's something I haven't mentioned yet. The excess energy from the collision would be expelled back into the universe as gravitational waves. As I mentioned before, colliding black holes can change the shape of the space around them. They do it by rippling this space with gravitational waves. Albert Einstein predicted gravitational waves over 100 years ago, but scientists didn't observe them until 2015, when the advanced LIGO Gravitational Wave Observatory finally detected gravitational waves after 8 years of operation. The cool thing about these waves is that they affect the distance between the Sun and the Earth. They only change it by the diameter of a hydrogen atom. You'd need a whole lot of colliding black holes to really see a difference. But what about supermassive black holes? Would their collision be more explosive? These black holes have a mass of at least hundreds of thousands of times the mass of our Sun. But the thing is, they might never even collide at all. Two supermassive giants would get close to each other until they reached a gravitational balance and froze in their respective orbits. But add another supermassive black hole to the equation, and the three of them could tip over the gravitational scale and finally collide. Not in a massive cosmic explosion, but a silent merger, sending powerful gravitational waves throughout the universe. You know, despite the fact that black holes are an unstoppable, insatiable force from which nothing can escape, we have nothing to fear from their collision. Okay, maybe if that collision happened somewhere in the neighborhood of our solar system, then the merging black holes would rip all the planets in their vicinity to shreds, including Earth. If you really want to look at a black hole, even a single black hole, and not turn into a human-flavored spaghetti noodle, you need to make sure you stay a safe distance away. But that's a story for another What If.
That's pretty interesting. Stephen Hawking came up with the theory of being spaghettified. If you were to reach into a black hole, that's what you would pretty much be, is spaghettified.
Spaghetti?
Spaghettified, it would stretch you out.
Oh, really?
Where you would turn you into a spaghetti noodle. Yeah.
Right. So,
Equine spaghetti pie.
I mean, we really don't have that much knowledge on black holes, right?
Well, no, there's actually quite a bit. But again, like everything else, it's theory and supposition, and you measure what can be measured. But I think let's see, T. Coronae borealis, as D. Gillette said.
D. Gillette, yeah.
D. Gillette mentioned. Yeah, it's going to go supernova.
He had I'm assuming it's a he. He had it's my oldest son. It's a he.
Oh, okay.
I hear we will be able to see the supernova with the naked eye sometime real soon.
Yep.
It was a typo, so I added the naked eye.
Naked. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
right, naked.
Okay, yeah. So there are.
Go ahead.
There are billions. There are billions of black holes out there floating around, wandering around, whatever it is that they do.
Billions.
Billions.
I mean, then it's just a matter of freaking time. Then.
Well, it all depends. But now, to make this even more interesting, that a black hole has been discovered lurking in the cosmic dawn. This is like an event horizon kind of situation, and it's just too big to easily explain. It's sitting at the center of a galaxy, and the name of this galaxy is 1120 plus 0641. Right, that single black hole tips the scales at well over 1 billion suns of our sun's worth of mass.
That's how big it is?
That's how big it is, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Now, bigger black holes exist all around us all the time. Okay. Now a problem is the when of J1120 plus 0641.
I'm still here. Keep talking.
Existence, yeah. All right. So this came about 70 million years after the Big Bang, is when this thing came around, and it's hard to figure out how the black hole had the time to gain that much mass. And apparently, it's continuing to gain. It's getting fat, and fatter and fatter. It's known as an overstuffed black hole. Okay, we've known about it here on Earth for more than a decade. All right. So, by all measures taken, J1120 plus 0641 appears shockingly normal, though, leaving open to more exotic explanations for a black hole's weight gains. Okay. So, what happens with all of these things? And there's multiple ways of measuring these. You look for signs of super Eddington creation. Astronomers are still looking at it now. Let's see, what else do we have here? That's just one thing to worry about. Now, there's a theory that at some point, all of these black holes are going to merge into one, and we will have another Big Bang.
Really?
Yeah. Now, this is, again, probably, we've been around for 770 million years since the last Big Bang, so it's hard to say when that could be, or even if it could be. But it's just something to think about, when you can't sleep at night. In which case, just dream about spaghetti and think we're all going to be spaghettified at some point. So there you have it.
Farmer B. Let me, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, B. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a late arrival in America's favorite gentleman in Mr. Nomad. So Nomad, I heard you just got back from. I heard you just got back from
somewhere.
A little bit of Fogman. You're here twice, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, now you're gone. All right. So, anyways, like I was saying, Nomad, it's good to have you back in the. Is it okay to say if in the States, or are you freaking me out, bro?
No.
Yeah, it's not okay to say where, but yes, that I was doing some mischief. Sorry.
Okay, as long as you behaved yourself, pal. All right, so we are. Everybody remember that Mr. Nomad has at least a 2-second, if not longer, 3-second delay. So let's wait for him to respond when we talk to him. All right. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, you can call the show at 508-974-4231. Again, that's 508-974-4231. And if you got answers to anything that we're talking about, or you just got a question and we maybe might know the answer, because a lot of this stuff is just, you know, what would you do in a situation type stuff. You know what I mean? With that being said, I'm gonna let Fogman continue about the black holes. And for those of you that are just joining the show, we are discussing black holes and what would happen if two collided. You had stated, Fogman, there was like a billion black holes out there, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now there he is. He's freezing on one and he's popping up another one. What we gotta do? We gotta get you twice up here. There we go. All
I
right,
have.
now he's fixed.
All right.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily. I'm having. I think I got. I've been like. I think I've been abducted and probed or something here. I'm not.
Yeah,
exactly sure.
they could be.
You lucky
They could be.
bitch.
Go look
I
up go look up. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be happy about getting probed, Farmer B. I'm sure you would like that. I don't know.
Well, I knew. I knew. I
you
should
want
not.
to you want to go check for
farmers
black
get
SUVs?
cornholed.
Let me get out of here. No, I'll be back. Let me figure this out. Go do what. I'll come back.
While he's
Okay,
buzzing
yeah,
around,
go
you were
ahead.
going to ask me
I
about my idea about black holes and so
Yeah,
forth.
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We were
Go ahead.
talking about the collision of black holes. What would happen if two or more black holes collided? Yeah, the popular theory is that there would be a profoundly large explosion, which could very well erupt into something that would be more another Big Bang theory. Also, there are some people who believe that it would just, rather than that, suck itself all in and collapse upon itself from all of the gravity that's created, the energy. Now, I do understand that we're talking about two extremes on either side of the fence. However, it cannot be discounted, especially since nobody knows exactly, with all the matter and so forth that's going into a black hole, where and how far and what as the matter coming back out erupts as.
Okay, Nomad, 2 minutes, bro. I gotta keep you under control.
That's a task in itself. Thank you, buddies. Thank you so much for joining. Interesting enough, Nikola Tesla had a completely different take on black holes. I was fortunate enough to spend some time in the Balkans back in the 90s, and recently enough again. I visited his house and I talked to a guy who was the equivalent of the assistant curator of the museum. It's in Beograd, in Belgrade. And black holes was one of the things that Tesla was looking at as a source of travel, as a source of managing interstellar communication and simple stuff. I mean, moving goods, moving people, moving everything. But his take on it was heavily influenced by some of the ancient mythology. And his attitude was, in all things ancient, there is a degree or grain of truth. So they had knowledge, in my opinion, as did Tesla and other people, that they learned some techniques and had some skills and some technology that was very ancient and maybe outer worldly. So some of his take on black holes was not negative, it was all positive. And he said it was necessary within the universe to have it. He equated them to basically being like a truck stop. That if you're traveling from one spot to another, you needed somewhere to lay up, rest up, recharge, and take off again. Almost like an intersection on a highway. That's it.
All right. Anybody? Nobody's got nothing on that?
Just one quick question for you then. At that point, did he have any input on black hole toll booths?
What?
Well,
if it's on a highway, there's got to be a toll booth somewhere.
I'm not sure that that was in the plan. But if you think about the time that Tesla was alive and the guy died in extreme poverty and was forgotten and put on the fringe of academia and on scientific stuff, Einstein, him, other people, going back to Copernicus, that Polish monk that discovered, that said the Earth is not the center of the universe, the sun, that we go around the sun, and that was heresy. And he was a Catholic priest back in Poland, so it didn't work out very well for him. But right through to the Age of Enlightenment, through the Renaissance, black holes, the people that were forward thinking were very much aware of these things in the universe, but they couldn't explain it or verbalize it. But they postulated that God had to take something and had created these things as being necessary to the whole fabric of time and the universe itself.
Anybody? No. Go ahead, Nomad.
Yeah. Did you hear me, buddy? Did you catch any of that?
Yeah,
Did you catch any of that?
Yes, yes.
You know, you just got them flabbergasted because you're right on point. You're not talking to us, bud. You're talking to the audience. Let them have it.
Yeah. Well, okay, if I can, without hogging the conversation and being conscious of time with me, black holes are a natural part of the fabric of time continuum and light. And that is being borne out more and more by a fusion of ancient belief systems, mythology, and scientific discovery. Voyager, which was launched in the 70s, is still sending back stuff that is well beyond its capability. Yet it's discovering and able to skirt around these black holes using 1960s, 1970s technology. So the question I would ask is, if we, in our infancy of the space program in the 70s, was able to put something out, the furthest man-made object, and can navigate around a black hole, just imagine what an advanced civilization can do. They probably utilize these things in a positive way to get from point A to point B quite quickly, which would tie into the Xenophiles' perspective on all things alien.
Right. That's a good question or good explanation. So go ahead, B.
When we do it, when we advance ourselves into the situation of discussing the subject of time, the time continuum, and the possibility of time travel, there is something that I'd like to broach, but not at this point.
And why not? Why not at this point?
We're talking about black holes, not time travel.
Oh, I didn't hear you say time travel. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm back, by the way. Sorry,
Yep.
I don't know what happened there. It was a tear in the space-time continuum, and I went to another planet, and dogs were chasing me through the yard, and donkeys and shit. And it's all because I wore my alien hat is what caused that. And donkey pox. I knew that I saw that somewhere before. But
okay, guys, go ahead, Pogman.
Yeah, but Farmer B, what you were just saying about time travel, that may or may not relate to black holes. Maybe that's what comes out the other end of the things, like you were asking, because you've asked that question several times. Nobody knows the answer, but maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a whole wormhole thing that goes back and forth in time.
I mean, it could be. I mean, because think about it. I mean, your statement was, Fogman, that there's it's not your statement. It's information that we have did research on for the show tonight. You had said there's billions of black holes. I mean, if there's billions of black holes, I mean, at some point, when does it come to where? I mean, could the universe be inside a black hole?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I got a video that might say otherwise, but go ahead.
No, if you got it, let's see it.
All right. Let's check it out.
In the depths of space, billions of mysterious black holes boggle the imagination and make us wonder what they hide in their infinite darkness. They arise after the collapse of old massive stars, forming a singularity inside them that distorts space so much that even light cannot escape. But what you might not know is that almost every galaxy has a supermassive black hole at its center, which exceeds the mass of the Sun by millions of times. One of these mysterious holes lies in the heart of our galaxy, Sagittarius A star. Just recently, scientists took the first picture of this giant black hole and were stunned by the very strange signals emanating from it.
And what's
But
around
hold on
it?
tight. Today, we'll try to look into the
Okay, hold on. Now, black holes are just supposed to devour everything, right?
Yes.
So what's this?
In theory, yes.
So what is this energy around the black hole?
Well, remember, as the conversation we had earlier, a black hole is a collapsing star, right?
Yes.
So there's gases, energy, the gases that are distributed by the collapsing black hole. But we as a civilization or as a planet can't be inside a black hole. I mean, there's too much. The mass is too great. Like I was saying, the one is a billion times. The mass of that one black hole is a billion times that of our sun. So that's where they get the theory nothing can exist inside of a black hole. So I think the question was, could we be inside of a black hole now? And the answer would have to be no.
Well, we will find out. Nomad.
Yeah. Going back to Tesla, Tesla said, and Einstein said the same thing at different times, is that, Anna's saying here her opinion is that black holes could be linked to time travel for UFOs. This is what Tesla was saying. Everything in the universe has a frequency. Everything in the world, everything in the universe has a frequency. Light itself is made up of different frequencies, different subpaths, different subcarriers. So the only thing, black holes are so dense that not even light itself can escape it. So that means that it is almost like an intersection. And going to Mr. B's point about time travel and whatever, he was saying if you can control the modulation of the frequency, you can open and close the black hole like an aperture on an old camera. You can actually
like they're working on on the show Skinwalker Ranch. They're literally, they got data that say that they could be possibly standing in an area that does have like a wormhole from the instruments that that are showing them. And this is pure data. This isn't them saying, "Oh, well, I think because it looks like this." This is pure data that is showing them that type of information. Go ahead, Nomad.
Yes, sir. The idea of that was not Tesla did not take credit for that. He went back to an old Greek legend, a guy called Tartarus. Tartarus was the Greek god of creations, and there was another god called Erebus. And Erebus was the lord of the cosmos and the universe. He walked alongside Zeus, but Tartarus was the god of darkness, almost like a portal. And there was legends in old Greece, go back to the Mediterranean. And remember, Tesla lived in Serbia, which is on the Aegean Sea, which is in the Mediterranean. So all those ancient legends that he heard of as a kid, he said there might be something in this crap. And he said, if you can open and close darkness and light, you can basically maybe do it. And he went from that point. He said, because how is it that ancient civilizations are able to use on the summer solstice, the winter solstice, how they have accuracy on light, frequency, and acoustics, on sound. He postulated that everything we have around us is a frequency, and we're part of that frequency. So it is something that he brought in. And then going back to our thing we had last week or the week before, when Hitler was involved heavily in the occult and trying to use a fusion of the occult and science and forward thinking, he was messing about with actual using light and frequency to get stuff, the equivalent of what we have now, which are like laser weapons. So this is not something new. This is thousands of years old, but our advances, our AI has brought it now to the point of where we can now extrapolate and create working models of this. And the last thing is the CERN, CERN, that particle collider they have in Switzerland, on the border of Italy, Switzerland, and Italy. They have created a black hole, and they have caused particles to collide. So since everything is light, energy, and a frequency, I think we're going to be able to, in the near future, do something on a limited fashion with these black holes.
All right, I'm going to throw this out to you because we're chitting and chatting and saying while the other ones are coming back.
What do you got,
I'm
Mama
here.
B?
I'm here in Epping, New Hampshire. I'm going to just for the sake of argument, Nomad. I'm going to say let's say you are on Waikiki Beach right now. Okay, Blazeman. Let's say that you're in Lyon, France.
I'm in France.
Yeah, let's say that you're in Lyon, France. Uh, uh, Nomad is at Waikiki Beach, and I'm here in Epping.
Okay.
At exactly the same time, choose from wherever we are to travel 170 years backward in time.
But still be here in the same spot.
Be in exactly the same spot. At that point, the theory, do not each of us become the center of our own universe, because wherever we see, we're standing where we are, and everything else in the world has all gone back as well, 170 years in time. I'm seeing Epping, New Hampshire. You would be in Lyon, seeing Lyon, France, and you would be seeing Waikiki Beach of 170 years prior. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying, but I mean, look, if he's in Waikiki, I mean, is he showing up on the beach? Wasn't it? What if
in
there
exactly
wasn't
the same spot?
What if there wasn't? What if there wasn't Waikiki there?
In 170 years ago?
Okay, 170 years ago, but okay, say where is Nomad? In Waikiki. Like where is he?
Standing right on a beach somewhere.
All right, he's standing on a beach in a resort, whatever.
Well,
I mean, because
whatever's there. 170 years ago, I don't think there were that many resorts in Waikiki.
I mean, because my house right here wasn't built 170 years ago. So where do I go?
You would be standing in whatever's the swamp is where your house is currently built, and I would be here in Epping, standing in amongst the trees, because 170 years ago this was all forest.
God, Nomad. I mean, I appreciate the H, but this is casual, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I'm just trying to be disciplined because you know how much I ramble on.
No, that's okay.
Right, and
I'll just do this. That'll be your warning.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
But
anyway, yeah. Anyway, bottom line is, everyone in every organism in the universe is connected, according to some theories. Going on a blaze, man. It's the way that Einstein explained it was that if you're an ant in a garden, your universe is that garden. So you look at things proportional to where you're in and where you're at that layer or dimension. If you're a higher level up in the food chain, a man is going to be able to stand upright, look around, so his perspective is different. So his universe is proportional. Einstein said that there was four elements within the universe, and we have the three dimensions we all know, and the fourth one was the one that was borderline spiritual, and spiritual being in the essence that it was unexplainable according to human terms. So that is something what Mr. B is saying primarily is that's what a lot of scientists are coming to that conclusion right now, that if you do move at the same time, you're going to experience what was there at that exact nanosecond. However, what is not being explained or not being taught about is that we ourselves will change back to what we may have been 170 years ago, because we also are made up of matter, of light. If you can break down protons and electrons, you can probably break down a universe down to the quarks, down to the very smallest part of it. Right, so the universe taking Tesla more than Einstein.
No idea what you're talking about, buddy, but you're doing a great job. I hope somebody.
I understand it.
I mean, his knowledge. Scientist Farmer B. Okay, you all right? Go ahead. You got somebody who understands it. Somebody could be. You guys understand it out there? Because Nomad's smart as shit, man. You know what I mean? So I just want to get that out there. He's befooming the guys that are trying to do a show here. Nomad, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to name a septic tank after me. You hear me?
We've been spaghettified, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So what we're gonna do here at no fault to Nomad at all, we're gonna take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Would you like to entertain the folks?
I'm just playing
for
the
about
music
2
you
minutes?
usually play when you're going to take a break from music.
Oh, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is Farmer B taking us to break, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Well, I've got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be a perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts.
Files, where we dive into the mysterious, the unexplained, and the downright otherworldly. In this cryptid corner of the airways, we'll explore alien encounters, ancient artifacts, and instrumental oddities. Buckle up, my friends, because truth is stranger than fiction, and you're about to embark on a cosmic journey. Welcome
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Xenophiles. Okay, gentlemen, on 3, 2, 1.
Where
Why
are
you
you
tonight?
tonight?
Why
Why
did you
did you leave me
there
there all alone?
I
I
searched the
the
world
world
over
over and
and
thought
all
I
I
found
found
true
true
love.
love.
But you
You
met
met
another,
another,
and you was
you
was
gone.
gone.
All right.
Yeah, BR549. We're here all
Remember to
week,
call
folks,
BR
tipping the
549.
waitresses. And as I said,
What'd you have up there, Farmer B?
I got the
BR59?
BR549.
BR 549.
Would you
Number to
like?
call.
Okay. So like
if
in the
you-
olden days, you know what I mean, where you would say like Eppin 321, something like that.
Yeah, if you want to buy a used car from Junior, that's the number to call.
That was the phone number. That was from your samples. Yeah. Back home,
I
it was
agree.
operator. Can I have Baldwin 95289, please? Yeah, right. Okay.
As I said at the beginning, we are not responsible for any opinions other than our own. This does not reflect the views of our sponsors or
It
the
don't
FFN network.
reflect our views on anybody that's got
What
anything
else
to
can
do
you
with
possibly
it.
get? Quantum physics and a lap to boot.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on that. Yeah, I mean,
I came back. Here's the worst thing. I came back from Europe for this.
I
I'm
know.
going back.
Right?
I'm going.
Understand.
I'm gone. I'm done. I'm done.
All I know is, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this stuff is going to get a little bit freaky. I hope, you know what I mean. And if Nomad disappears and leaves the show abruptly, is because he knows something. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. 5 secret U.S. government tunnels with mysterious usages. Okay. Now, Nomad, you got 5 seconds to decide. You staying or you leave?
I'm staying. Absolutely staying.
All right. Okay. That's my boy Nomad. All right. There. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, and 5 secret U.S. government tunnels
Dun, dun, dun.
with mysterious usages. I'd run too, bitch.
Mount Weather.
Oops, sorry.
FEMA Mount Weather. The U.S. government has often concealed its most sensitive operations in seemingly ordinary locations. A prime example is the mysterious.
Now, Nomad or Fogman, if any of this is possibly true, and you could possibly maybe say whether it's no longer top secret and we can talk about it, or you could give us some kind of signal and say, look, we can't talk about that shit. All right.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right. And Ann Hodford says quantum physics. Listen, Miss Ann, if you know any quantum physics, we'll get you on the show right now.
She's fantastic. She's 100%. That's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, she's on point.
Quarks.
She loves
And
the shows.
you're a rock star. And thank you for the compliment about the shirt. Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't get all smitten, no man. 508-974-4231. Give us a call. Maybe Ann will call in. Huh, Nomad? Ooh. All right, here we go. 5 secret U.S. government tunnels with mysterious usages.
Mysterious Mount Weather facility, designed as a presidential bunker. While its entrance is easily spotted, foreboding signs declare U.S. property and...
Okay, I just want to say one thing, right? Okay, this one, Mount Weather or whatever, designed for the president, right? Listen, now, we know the president's not going to go there because every enemy that ever was or is watching these freaking programs, wouldn't you say?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, so I would say it's safe to say that they ain't bringing the president to Mount Weather. No?
More of an option. That's where Congress is supposed to go, for one thing. And it's under a resort. It's not really a Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center. I mean, that's the good stuff's underground, under the resort.
These days, they bring our president to mount a diaper.
Yeah. Okay. We all understand the political jokes there, Farmer B, but we're trying to stay away from that tonight on this show. So you're saying that they still might bring them there, or this is for Congress? I mean, because come on, it doesn't make sense to me, guys. I mean, this stuff is all over like television. You know what I mean? There's shows about it, and I mean, I guess it would be safe to say, right, if they think because they know that that's where the president's go, the president isn't going to go there, or is he or she still going to go there? Anybody?
I disagree.
Here we go.
Here we go. There's an agreement between Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. in relation to a post apocalyptic response, and
Yes,
some of the traditional stuff that went on. The Cold War that we have right now is not the same Cold War we had post World War II to mid 80s.
Yes, absolutely, you're right.
So the capability, technology-wise, ballistic and other ways, of stuff has changed. So the spots that we would have taken somebody, or locations we would have taken somebody to, have had to change primarily because of technology. And everybody used to see Discovery Channel, used to see National Geographic. So everybody's secret was everybody's secret. The internet exploded in between the last Cold War and this Cold War. What was once what we have as the internet is now a form of a demilitarized form of communication. So knowledge is everywhere. There's no excuse now not to know something. So our enemies know quite as well as everybody else does. So no, they're not going to Mount Weather. There are hardened structures which have already been put in place in the Rockies and other places, and it's to do with climate. It's to do with wind dispersal of radiation, the nuclear winter, and also the EMP side of it, because you have to have comms somewhere. The new Air Force One that's being built right now is shielded 14 times more than the present one to deal specifically with a new type of EMP. So if you have something that's going to be airborne as an airborne command center, you can imagine that retrospectively as well, they're going to reverse engineer or upgrade or harden our structures to take care of the war cabinet and the presidency. So I would not think they're going to go to Mount Weather. It's a false flag.
All right, thank you. I agree. I agree with that assessment. Farmer B, do you gotta go check some sheep's asses or anything?
No, I'm just sitting here waiting to see this video, find out what the hell it's all about.
Okay, Fogman, anything?
Yeah, there is a bunker there, and it is hardened and all that kind of stuff, but not to the level of presidential security. It was used, has been used recently, though, the operations center, as recent as April 7th, when there was a massive power failure in D.C., and they moved the EOC to that facility. But yeah, there's all kinds of theories, but again, it's a false flag. But it's our government, so actually, there's a theory that all these tunnels are all connected to DC anyway, and there are tunnels running to all these facilities. So who really knows?
Yeah. Right, exactly. All right, so let's run this baby.
No trespassing. Multiple barriers, crowned with razor wire, encircle the facility. Yet what's visible above ground pales in comparison to the labyrinth below. Established during the Cold War era, this high-security subterranean stronghold, located a stone's throw away from Washington, D.C., underwent significant upgrades post 9/11, a period marked by heightened national anxiety. Though individuals with access are bound by confidentiality, snippets of information have surfaced, thanks to diligent investigative journalists and occasional leaks. Officially associated with FEMA, Mount Weather boasts its own emergency services and a distinct organizational structure. The facility encompasses an extensive network of tunnels built to shelter government dignitaries in the event of nuclear warfare. Some speculate that Mount Weather houses a covert shadow government that influences DC's power players, operating under its unique legal framework. While strategic barriers shield parts of Mount Weather, its primary entrances, carved into the mountain protecting the facility, remain visible to the audacious few who approach. In 1974, a tragic incident thrust Mount Weather into the limelight. TWA Flight 514, a Boeing 727 bound for Washington, collided with the mountain, claiming the lives of all 92 on board. This catastrophe drew unprecedented media scrutiny to the facility. Remarkably, the facility's robust defenses ensured minimal damage. Only a phone line was affected, with services restored in a mere 2.5 hours. Post-crash, the media unveiled this, quote, clandestine government stronghold, which insiders dubbed Ground Zero. Today, Mount Weather remains a pivotal component of the government's nuclear contingency strategy, equipped to broadcast presidential messages in post-apocalyptic scenarios. Given escalating global tensions, the prospect of Mount Weather being fully operationalized is more pronounced now than at any time since the Cold War. Mount Pony.
I never heard of Mount Pony before, so. Anybody?
In the shadow of an impending apocalypse, one of the government...
Go ahead, sir. Sorry,
I heard
forgot
it.
About the
I'm sorry, buddy. I wasn't a U.S. citizen at the time. Some of the stuff was made aware of within certain levels of European military and higher stuff. And every bit, not every piece of knowledge that the U.S. had was shared with NATO for good reason. History shows that you can't rely upon anybody but yourself in time of crisis. So not everywhere was every safe bunker, every type of protocol was shared, because you had to compartmentalize it like a beehive and like a single cell. So if anything was compromised, it would go. And the U.S. perspective was that we will trust our friends as long as they remain our friends. A trust in doubt is a trust broken. So therefore, the strategy was that we do not share everything with our people unless there's a visiting head of state coming. They'll go to the nearest point, but maybe not the safest place, but a safe place. And there's a big difference with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody want to add to that?
Nope.
No. All right, moving on.
Government's primary concerns is to uphold both social and economic order. This means ensuring the security of its financial institutions, including the Federal Reserve. Nestled within Mount Pony in Culpeper, Virginia, lies a vast bunker system designed with this mission in mind. During the 1970s, this underground fortress safeguarded $4 billion, intended for circulation only after the dust and devastation of a Cold War conflict had cleared. With inflation taken into account, this sum would equate to over $22 billion in today's money. Surprisingly, much of this cash was in the form of unwanted $2 bills, neatly bundled and stacked on pallets reaching 9 feet in height. More than just a colossal vault, Mount Pony was envisioned as a beacon of hope in a post-apocalyptic world. It was designed to ensure the resurgence of commerce and industry, and to guarantee the survival of the American dollar. Constructed during heightened geopolitical tensions in 1969, the facility was officially named the Federal Reserve System's Communications and Records Center. It boasts 135,000 square feet of bomb-resistant storage, living quarters, offices, and more. Designed with the looming threat of nuclear warfare in mind, the bunker featured lead-lined shutters and steel-reinforced concrete walls that were 30 centimeters thick. It was also equipped with high-security outposts. The $6 million facility housed a state-of-the-art air filtration system to shield its inhabitants from radiation. It also stored a 1-month supply of freeze-dried food, sufficient for 400 people. Interestingly, only 200 beds were available, suggesting that the occupants would sleep in shifts. The compound also featured a gun range, helipad, and a refrigerated unit for storing bodies that couldn't be immediately buried or cremated. However, Mount Pony's role evolved as the Cold War receded into history. The cache was eventually removed, and today, the facility serves as the heart of the National Audiovisual Conservation Program, archiving precious media for the Library of Congress. S4. Area 51, synonymous with secrecy and conspiracy theories, has long captured the public's imagination. While it's widely believed to be a hub for advanced weapon systems and
I believe that Area 51 no longer what it used to be.
Mm-mm.
I think somebody, I'm pretty sure some of you might know the name of it, but I'm just drawing a blank right now. But I don't know. I think about maybe 5 to 10 miles down the road is, what are they calling that one now?
Groom
Reno,
Lake.
Huh?
Groom
how
Lake.
about it?
Groom Lake. Exactly. All right, here we go.
Potential UFO testing. Its existence was only officially confirmed in 2013. Yet even more enigmatic than Area 51 is its rumored subsidiary, S4.
Anybody want to add
Located
anything?
several miles away, its existence remains a subject of speculation. The world first heard of S4 in May 1989 when Robert Lazar, a purported ex-employee of Area 51, appeared in a shadowed interview on Las Vegas television.
Okay, so here we go. Lazar, full of shit or not full of shit?
I think
Come on,
he's
guys.
not. I think he's not.
Okay,
Actually.
I think he's not. Farmer B,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
Not full of shit.
Not full of shit. Nomad.
I think he's full of some shit, but not entirely 100% organic. I think he's a plant. I think
Okay,
he's
you're
part
right.
of, I think he's a disinformation guy who knows something. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing, and the basic 101 foundation of intel is if you want to give him something to chew on, give him something that has a grain of truth in it. I think he was there. He's aware of skunk works. He's aware of all the stuff that's going on, but he doesn't know everything, and he was compartmentalized. No one person could have done that. The modern example of that was Edward Snowden. For a guy who was such a low level contractor, how is it that he had so much access to information? It's impossible because someone had to feed
Okay.
him that stuff. So the same thing with Lazar.
Okay, so with Lazar, explain element 15 then.
Me?
He said that he was they were working on an element 15. And that was when he said that, that's what broke the camel's back in sense for him, because like every scientist in the world that had his hands or whatever in this information said that there is no such thing as element 15. It don't exist, all of that. But I don't know, it was like maybe 10, 12 years after he said that, all of a sudden they found element 15. Anybody?
The Go ahead.
It's
Um,
phosphorus. I don't know what. I'm not familiar with element 15.
Okay. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Element 15 is a phosphorus compound. It's flaky, it's crumbly, it's a non-conductor
Yeah.
of electricity. So therefore, what use has it got? And so our knowledge of chemistry is less than 350 years old, from the modern way of looking at things. But chemistry has been known to ancient civilizations for thousands of years. They just didn't know how it was. Ancient Egyptians made batteries from wine and copper with the acidic content of the grape. Voltaire, the French guy, he tapped into stuff around the time of the Rosetta Stone. All these things, technology comes and goes like the tide kissing the beach every few hours. The same goes with technology.
I'm sorry. Element.
element
I
115.
apologize. It's element 115.
115. Yeah.
Yes, 150.
I
But
apologize.
That's
But
right.
most of the actual stuff that is coming out of Area 51, when it's been released, my opinion is that it's already been used and surpassed. So what we're getting it is like 20 years or 15 or 20 years behind the curve, because you got to control the flow of information getting out there. Look at how designs of aircraft have changed in the last 30 years. Look at how aircraft has changed in relation to combat. Our aerial superiority is definitively linked to our ability to having delta wings. Look at our B-2 bombers. Look at everything that happened. Desert Shield, Desert Storm that some of us were involved in. The first elements of something that looked space age was in that. They had never
Right.
seen stuff like this. So this
Right.
technology and this knowledge is, it's already,
But
it's been
but
released.
But
Go
Bob
ahead.
Lazar his whole thing is him being there to reverse engineer the spacecrafts that he's seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, I apologize for the element. It's 115,
Yeah.
unobtainium or something to that effect.
Yes.
Moscovium. It's Moscovium.
Right. And, again, at the time, that's what made him kind of pushing him aside, like saying, oh, he is a fucking crackpot because there's no such thing as element 115. And then, like I said, again, I don't know if it was 8 to 10 years or 12 years, whatever. Then they say, oh, we found element 115. And my whole point to that whole thing, no matter how many blueprints he draws of spaceships and all of that stuff like that, is just, somebody's got to convince me is how the frig did he know about element 115 if he wasn't there and actually seen what he's seen. I got something for us real quick, guys.
Okay.
Wasn't real. What was your reaction to having this stable element 115 that wasn't even supposed to exist?
Well, everything was impossible.
Right.
I mean, down to the metal. I did get a chance to look inside the craft on only one occasion, and this was important because where the reactor sat might have been critical to how it operated, since everything operates without any interconnection, so the placement of components might be critical. So they allowed me to go inside and look at it. Again, I forgot where the hell I am.
So you're going into this craft, and what are you thinking when you're inside of it? Like, what are you seeing?
It's a very ominous feeling because there are no. First of all, everything is one color. It's like a dark pewter color, and there are no right angles anywhere. It's as if somebody took. I've said this before. Somebody took a model and fashioned it out of wax and then heated it just for a short time so everything melted. Everything looks like it's fused together. Everything has a radius of curvature where two items meet. It's a really weird looking thing. But there was almost nothing other than a small foldable hatchway that looked recognizable. Everything was really unworldly, to pick on it, a way to describe it.
So you get inside this thing, and it's designed for something that's much smaller than a human being.
Yeah, you can't really stand up till you get to the very center of it.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
And what do you think this was designed for?
I'd say something close to half my height.
Wow. So these little 3-foot tallish creatures. Yeah,
and the seats were small too. I mean, obviously it was made, for something small. But there is no, there's nothing else in there. There's just seats, the reactor, and some of the subcomponents. There's no control panels. There's no bathroom. There's no decorative components or artwork or anything that you would recognize or trim. I mean, it's just a very bare bones thing.
You're not seeing any screens?
Well, there are archways around it that are part of the superstructure, and one of the archways can become transparent. When I was in there was another group working on one of the archways, and you could call that a screen, more or less.
So through that archway, it would maintain the solidity, the solid, whatever metal it was.
Yeah,
but you could see
through it. Yeah, it just
became
became transparent. Yeah, I saw that happen once or twice before I left.
Did you ask any questions about what the fuck?
No,
there's
no asking.
There's
questions.
no asking questions.
No.
But when you watch something become transparent, and you realize it's still there, but you can now see through it.
Yeah, I mean, now that's not that impressive. We do have some liquid crystal materials that are like that. They
I've seen that in bathrooms.
Smart glass. Yeah, they call it smart glass. So this is just, and I don't know if the craft is made of, an advanced metal or a ceramic. It was cold to the touch, so I would lean more towards a metal.
You're not allowed to ask questions.
No, they work on the buddy system, so I can only exchange ideas and talk to Barry. Now, this really interferes with science because science is based on free discussion, And ideally, you get a bunch of guys together, exchange ideas, work on problems, and that's how things move forward. But they're so over the top concerned about security, they split everything off, and everybody becomes stagnant. It just destroys any of the progress you can make, or at least makes it go so slow. I think they wind up shooting themselves in the foot.
Which is probably why they arrived at this bottleneck that they need to get this madman.
Well, he didn't make it so easy after
Honda
that, right?
come in and see what he could do.
I think that was an act of desperation. I think they wanted someone.
All right, Nomad wants to get in here, and like I just said, he didn't, make it that easier now, right? I mean, I get what he's saying, but now that he kind of like bit a whistleblower, they're probably even more stern about that shit. Go ahead, Nomad.
Yeah, the basis of the 115 element, one, it's been confirmed, right? It was
Yes, sir.
synthesized. It was confirmed. It was recreated back in 21-22 in the height of COVID. Research stations were still working away because they're effectively insulated from lots of stuff. The Los Alamos Propulsion Laboratory, which is just down by Groom Lake, which is near Area 51, that had stuff, and they were working on a gravity warp drive. And this goes into the black hole thing. The elements of it, the travel, the time travel side. Mr. B was saying earlier about, what you can use it. So there is connectivity amongst this type of thing. All science eventually merges. And so what happens is that there are, no matter where you are in universe, what type of creature you are, whatever, there are certain elements that are predominantly common amongst the universe, carbon being one of them. But this Moscovium, which is the one element 115, that's been recreated. And so if we can create it, we can therefore maybe make more sense of maybe something that may have crashed, not just the Roswell thing. Everyone thinks of Roswell. Everyone thinks of Area 51.
Right.
But there's lots of other sites that have never been as exposed or public as that. And if a government has the ability to shut down a population during a pandemic, it can sure as hell shut down information about a propulsion system or anything else. So it's in our national interest not to have too much discussion and to do what they did with Project Blue Book in the 60s with UFOs. Use people who have a degree of credibility and discredit them publicly, make them look foolish, and people will sort of shy away from it. Look what's happened now. Yeah. So this is what Lazar is about. Lazar is part of that second stage of disinformation and weapons of mass distraction. My opinion.
Why do the FBI still harass him till today? They raid his facilities all the time. The time, because he said that I forget what it was, but he took something. Okay, he took something, and what he says it is will fucking explain lots. But yeah, he took something. I'm not sure if he actually took it or they believe he took something. I would encourage to go and watch his very first interview that he put out and all of that stuff like that, because it's super.
Yeah.
Anyways, again, I believe the guy, and go ahead, Nomad, 30 seconds.
Okay, I just believe that he's an unwitting player in a larger scale of operation of deception and subterfuge. Secondly, he has some knowledge. It's the equivalent of us trying to snatch Werner von Braun from the Nazis coming to the end of World War II and get his ass over to the US so he can develop the V2 ballistics and Oppenheimer. It's the same type of race going on right now, because whoever controls the skies controls the war. Now we've gone past that and we've gone interplanetary right now, which is why there's such interest in the moon, because rumors are that element 115, something like that or similar to it in composition, is on the dark side of the moon. Whilst where the Chinese have landed somewhere. Every nuclear power has put a space probe on the dark side of the moon. India, Japan has no nuclear shit, but we will have soon. But Israel has every nuclear
my
power
thing
has,
is that I'm sorry, I got to cut you off, buddy. My thing to that is that if we went, we should have already had bases up there already. I mean, you don't go up there and do something like we claim that we have done, like 8 times or whatever, 9 times. I forget how many times we've supposedly been to the moon, and yet you don't create some kind of base. You don't build some kind of structure. You just go up there, grab moon rocks, fuck around a little bit, plant the flag, and leave, and then decide that you don't want to go back there anymore. Tip for me. I mean, because you're saying, I do, Nomad. I understand exactly what you're saying, brother. I do. All right, put this guy out there. You know what I mean? Give him something, because we need a distraction, because Area 51 is no longer what it used to be. Okay. And Z, are you getting tired, bro?
A little, yeah.
I was asking Fogman, but go ahead. Are you getting tired, B?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. We're moving on.
It's my nice way of saying you're boring the shit out of me.
Well, for me, it's not being boring. It's fucking what Nomad's saying, what we're watching.
You're being boring, trust me.
This is being super intriguing for me, anyways. Let's go. All right. So we want to go back to tunnels. I thought the Laboblas thing was pretty cool, man.
All right. Again, folks, the opinions are our own. They are not reflective of anything on our sponsors or the network or anybody else.
Ooh, baby. All right. Here we go. Tunnels.
Pox. A pox on your house.
A pox upon your house. Yes.
I don't know, though. I'm just saying, Farmer B, when you was talking, we had 3 people watching. When I was talking, it jumped up to 9. I'm just saying.
A period marked by heightened national anxiety. Though individuals with access are bound by confidentiality, snippets of information have surfaced, thanks to diligent investigative journalists and occasional leaks. Officially associated with FEMA, Mount Weather boasts its own emergency services and a distinct organizational structure.
Yeah, we're up one, right?
The facility encompasses an extensive network of tunnels. Some speculate that Mount Weather has shield parts of Mount Weather 24, lives of all 92 on board. This catastrophe drew unprecedented media scrutiny to the facility. Remarkably, the facility's robust defenses ensured minimal damage. Only a phone line was affected, with services restored in a mere 2.5 hours. Post-crash, the media unveiled this, quote, clandestine government stronghold, which insiders dubbed Ground Zero. Today, Mount Weather remains a pivotal component of the government's nuclear contingency strategy, equipped to broadcast presidential messages in post-apocalyptic scenarios. Given escalating global tensions, the prospect of Mount Weather being fully operationalized is more pronounced now than at any time since the Cold War. Mount Pony. In the shadow of an impending apocalypse, one of the government's primary concerns is to uphold both social and economic order. This means ensuring the security of its financial institutions, including the Federal Reserve. Nestled within Mount Pony in Culpeper, Virginia, lies a vast bunker system designed with this mission in mind. During the 19th
Would you like me to jump to Area 51, and it talks about all of the Bob Lazar bullshit, and that's about like 1.5 minutes. And then I know we're looking for Dulcier, but I don't see it right now. I'm going, oh yeah, I think we should jump to that, because then it gets into the whole thing about the tunnels and Fogg, remember you and I discussed about that gentleman that said that they were in a tunnel or something about the wall going down, and they got into a fight with aliens. Well, all of that stuff's coming up.
Yeah.
So why don't we just jump to that? Okay.
That sounds good. Then we can finish off with that too.
All right.
S4. Area 51, synonymous with secrecy and conspiracy theories, has long captured the public's imagination. While it's widely believed to be a hub for advanced weapon systems and potential UFO testing, its existence was only officially confirmed in 2013. Yet even more enigmatic than Area 51 is its rumored subsidiary, S4. Located several miles away, its existence remains a subject of speculation. The world first heard of S4 in May 1989, when Robert Lazar, a purported ex-employee of Area 51, appeared in a shadowed interview on Las Vegas television. Lazar painted a vivid picture of S4, describing it as a series of concealed aircraft hangars ingeniously tunneled into a mountainside. He claimed his role there was to reverse engineer one of 9 captured flying saucers. Identified as a U.S. Navy employee, Lazar spoke of an antimatter reactor within the vehicle, powered by a then unknown chemical. This reactor, intriguingly positioned beneath a force field sphere that repelled human touch, was his primary focus. But Lazar's revelations didn't stop there. He spoke of official documents detailing 10,000 years of human-alien interactions. He even claimed to have seen the remains of gray aliens with petite frames that corresponded to the saucer's seating arrangements. In a particularly eerie account, Lazar recalled a fleeting moment at S4 when he saw 2 men engaged in conversation with a small, long-armed entity. However, Lazar's credibility took a hit. In 1990, he was convicted for his role in a prostitution ring, and later faced charges of distributing illegal substances. Additionally, his academic claims, degrees from MIT and coursework at Caltech, were debunked when neither institution could verify his attendance. While Lazar's tales have a dedicated following, many skeptics dismiss them as...
Okay, so what's happening there?
Well, they could have attacked his reputation, I guess, but it's kind of common.
Right? Nomad?
Just as we said previously, if you want to destroy the credibility, do the usual things, the most powerful things in the universe.
Right.
Proper companionship, integrity, reputation. If you strip away just one element of somebody's reputation and character, everything else just falls down. It's a house of cards. So exactly the 101 Intelligence Foundation 101 of breaking your enemy down. That's just basically what they did to him. So he served his purpose. He's now irrelevant. He's still relevant to people who want something to believe, because humanity always wants something to believe in. So this guy feeds the machine that propagates such things, and the US government, like every other government, is involved in disinformation for its own purposes and agenda. But
Gotcha.
This has a lot to do with the same playbook that's been going on since World War II. Nothing has changed, just the nature of it.
Fabrications, leaving the truth about S4 as elusive as ever. Small unit training in subterranean environments. In an era of rapidly evolving warfare, the US military is venturing into uncharted territories for training. They're delving deep into the subterranean world, where every turn can be a potential death trap.
Now why? Why train for that? Subterranean. That's why I'm asking the question.
Why train for subterranean worlds?
No, why train military, to go into subterranean,
areas,
mines?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, because number one,
after
having.
Wagman, if you got to do that, I'll give you your say, and you can talk a little bit, and then we could finish things next week. But go ahead, bud.
You sure? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, go ahead. We'll finish up with Mr. B and Nomad, and then we'll close it out.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna come back with this next week, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, go. B, you're up.
I was just saying it stands to reason that after having thermonuclear, whatever it is, disaster things, what are they going to do? Of course, try to attack us inside the bunkers that the remaining living people are still within. So that would certainly make sense. Why to prepare for?
I agree with you. If we're staying with the criteria that we're talking about now, and there are, alien civilizations, beneath and things to that effect. That's why I asked the question, why are you training? You know what I mean? I mean, look, they didn't say, we're training them to go into tunnels like in Gaza and shit. They said subterranean.
Yeah. Nomad, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, Nomad.
All right, 2 things. I had some recent experience with some of the tunnels and some of the training that was involved with it. and did some stuff. We'll talk about some other time. Here's the theory I have in relation to military training for tunnels. If you have the ability to go to where these creatures come from, the chances are these creatures are going to be underground, because the atmospheric conditions, the planetary conditions will not allow them to live on the surface. They're going to live beneath the surface. So therefore, you've got to train for what you're going to fight in. And so if you've noticed, spacesuit technology has changed. Look at what SpaceX are doing. It's more flexible. It's more viable. We've got reactive armor. It's AI generated. It's completely redesigned, so it's friendly, not just from a movement point of view, but also from a weapon manipulation point of view. So look at the examples I give you. Early diving suits were monstrosities of metal and brass. Then it changed over about 20,
Yes.
30 years, changed to the flexible type of, wetsuits we had and what we were doing. Now, same with our Air Force, SpaceX, or spacesuits. You can easily make them militarized in a by just adding on components to it. So we're at the point, or I think we've reached a level of technology where we're going to be confident very soon to go somewhere, and there may be a threat, inherent or otherwise, from this technology or from the originators of this technology. If you're holding an alien and you're dealing with an alien, and that base that we're talking about, the Dulce base in Mexico, you may already have some inside knowledge on how these things live, breed, eat, replicate, what they do. So Sun Tzu said it thousands of years ago in The Art of War: know your enemy, think like your enemy. So we're working, our military is now going into it. Last point. Here's the real public admission that we have a problem. Space Force. Space Force is now a branch of the military. We would not be investing and taking money away from other branches if we didn't have something to worry about. Not just from a dominance of taking care of planet Earth, but looking outward. So I would think that we have recognized or identified a clear and present danger through technology, through familiarization, and we have to be prepared for these guys coming back and taking back what we have belonged to them.
Right. I got a quick question for the audience, and maybe they can answer it next week. Okay. As far as the moon goes, so you think we're at a point because we created the Space Force. So do you think if we put like a rover on a moon or whatever, stuff like that? Anyways, we got to get there, get back there, whatever you believe. Do you think we're going to carve out like a part of the moon and say, okay, this is the United States territory? We'll save that for next week.
Save that for next week, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's save it right there. And if you got an answer for it, you can email us at ffnnetwork9@gmail.com. Go check out our website at ffnnetwork.org. Good night, everybody. Peace and love. Guys?
Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks, folks, for sticking with us this evening. Next week, I think we're going to do Dulce Base, Nomad. We're going to hit your point about the Space Force. We're going to include that in there, also see what's going on with them. And Blaze Man, let's see what the hell is going on the dark side of the moon.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's where everything's at.
Yeah. Again, before we go, we'd like to thank all the content creators from YouTube, IF, also Joe Rogan Experience, and Doc 5. Go check out and subscribe to their pages on YouTube. And thank you again for letting us use your content.
Yeah,
Thanks.
See you next week, folks.
See you next week on the ZENO Files.
Where we dive into the mysterious, the unexplained, and the downright otherworldly. In this cryptid corner of the airways, we'll explore alien encounters, ancient artifacts, and instrumental oddities. Buckle up, my friends, because truth is stranger than fiction, and you're about to embark on a cosmic journey. Welcome to the ZENO Files. You have just watched an FFN Network production.